What's up, everybody, and welcome to Podcasting with Power. I'm Zachary Davis, and that's Jordan Carlson, and this is your Nintendo podcast of treasures. We got a lot of things to discuss today, a lot of news stories this week. But before we get to that, Jordan, how are you doing?
Oh man, oh boy, I'm doing pretty good. I'm all right.
Okay.
It's been a wild week, but I think we were just bonding over that. I think you yourself has had a wild week, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of rushing around, but here we are.
A lot of rushing, but
I enjoy our podcast.
Yes, I actually. This is like a centering thing for me. Like, it's really nice.
It is.
We get to like come do this, and I feel like I kind of wipe my slate clean, and then I go into Friday feeling like a little refreshed.
Right. Exactly. Absolutely. Have you been playing anything this week?
Yes.
Have you been still dabbling in the what do they call that Majora's Mask mod you've been playing?
They call it Two Ship Two Harkinian.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. You still doing that?
I'm still doing that, but I took a little hiatus. I will be returning because I'm really enjoying Majora's Mask, but I've been playing Borderlands 4 quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, like
very cool.
A lot of it, and I really love it. And dude, I know I was saying like maybe not a title I'd play on Switch 2. I've actually been really wishing I had it on Switch 2.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people
I know it bums me out because like I'm really enjoying it on the PC. But so many times I've been like, I wish I could be on the couch right now. Like, hanging out with Amanda while she's watching a movie. I could play Borderlands. Like, I want that so bad. So I'm really bummed about that delay. But
sure. Well, hopefully we get some news on that sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Or ever. That's kind of my fear is that it might never happen. But
right.
Fingers crossed. Everyone I've talked to that's played it seems to be enjoying it. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if we talked about this last week or not. Did you play any of because the other 4 Borderlands games are all on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Did you play any of those ports?
No, I didn't play them on Switch.
Okay.
But I'm feeling like I kind of want to go back and play Borderlands 2 again, honestly.
Sure.
But like, I want to play with people,
Sure. I would play it. I've only ever finished the first game. So yeah, okay. I'd be a Borderlands 2 noob.
Hey, I'm pretty much a noob. So just enjoying myself.
I have been playing a kind of unexpected Switch 2 port, and that is Yakuza 0. Oh, yeah. I talked about how I didn't want to start Mario Galaxy until after I played Yooka-Laylee. Mm-hmm. I of course could not resist. I did jump in and do the first level of Galaxy 2 last night.
What'd you think?
But no, I checked out Yakuza 0 from the library, and I've been playing that, and it's cool. It runs and looks fine. It's an older game. Came out, I believe, on both the PlayStation 3 and 4. So it's not, not crazy under the hood or anything, but looks nice, plays nice. This is actually the only Yakuza game I have ever touched. When it was on Game Pass, I did try it for like an hour, and that opening hour is mostly cutscenes, so I just kind of didn't ever go back. So now I'm doing a little more in it, and it's kind of been tiding me over until Ghost of Yotei, which I picked up, have not started. Ooh. It's sitting on the PlayStation right back behind me, but
man, I'm actually really excited for you to play that because ever since you've been mentioning it, I don't know if it's just the big brother listening to everything I say, but I've been seeing a lot on the internet about it, and now I'm really interested in it, but I can't decide where I want to play it. So I've been really curious to see what you think about it. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I cannot wait to talk about Ghost of Yotei on our Nintendo podcast next week. I'm sure I'll have plenty to say. But yeah, so that's kind of all I've been playing. Let's tell the people how they can help out the show. Podcasting with Power is an independent podcast made by the two of us, and your support goes a long way. You can watch PWP on YouTube and Spotify, or listen on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Wherever you are, we'd really appreciate it if you'd follow, like, comment on, and review the show. You can also keep up with us on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and more at Pod with Power. We post show updates, clips, and anything else we think you might find interesting. Check that out and help support the show. Jordan, I have 5 Nintendo news stories for you this week. And some are fun, some are geopolitical again. So we'll get into all that. But this is actually one that we touched on at the very end of our news segment last week, because this was happening as we went live. So, story number 1, Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser announces retirement. This is by Alana Higgs at Nintendo Life. Nintendo has announced that the President and Chief Operating Officer of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser, will be retiring at the end of the year on December 31st, 2025. His replacement has already been named, Devon Pritchard, who has been at Nintendo of America for 19 years and is currently the Executive Vice President of Sales, Marketing, and Communications. As part of the move, Pritchard will also be joining the Nintendo of America Board of Directors and will become a Nintendo Company Limited Executive Officer when she takes over. Other changes are coming too. Satoru Shibata will be taking over as Chief Executive Officer, in addition to maintaining his position as Managing Executive Officer and Corporate Director of NCL. Shibata has been the President of Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of Australia previously. Bowser's departure is a bit of a surprise. He joined the company back in 2015 as the Vice President of Sales and Marketing before taking over as President of Nintendo of America in April 2019 after Reggie Fils-Aimé stepped down. Here's his statement, quote, "One of my earliest video game experiences was playing the arcade version of Donkey Kong. Since that time, all things Nintendo have continued to be a passion for both me and my family. Leading Nintendo of America has been the honor of a lifetime, and I am proud of what our team has accomplished in both business results and the experiences we've created for consumers. Now, it's time for the next generation of leadership, and Devon's track record speaks for itself. She's an exceptional leader, and her promotion is a testament to her strong performance and strategic contributions to the company's growth. I have full confidence that she will guide the company to even greater heights." President of Nintendo, Shintaro Furukawa, has thanked Bowser for his work with the company, saying that he brought, quote, "smiles to the faces of people connected to Nintendo." I have a little bit more that we can touch on here, but yeah, now that we've had a week to digest it, how do you feel about this kind of shakeup, at least on the American side of Nintendo's business?
Still weird and out of nowhere.
It does seem
just...
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
No, not at all. And like, there was nobody alluded to anything like this. It's just very abrupt. So I mean, like, honestly, as far as how you feel about it, I feel like it hasn't shifted all too much since last week. All we've learned since then is even more as to why the transition, I think, is going to be just all right. Like, everything's going to be just fine. I have a lot of faith in Devon Pritchard. I feel like she, like we said last week, she spent a lot of time in Nintendo. She's really intertwined with everything that they've done. So I just feel like I just feel honestly confused by the change, but I'm okay with that change. You know, I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. But
I just looked this up because I wasn't sure. He is 60 years old. I wasn't sure, where he was at in life. I do love just referring to him as Bowser anytime we talk about him in the business sense. That's always fun for me.
Dude, when they announced him, I remember being like, is that a stage name?
Like, right. Like, this is just some stunt cast dude. Like, they just went on LinkedIn and looked for somebody named Bowser and hired him.
Get him in there.
Yeah. So the second half of this story I have is a feature from Nintendo Life. Jim Norman wrote this over there, and it is who is Devon Pritchard, the woman that it will be taking over as the Nintendo of America president. So I'm going to kind of skim through this one, give you the cliff notes. Pritchard joined Nintendo of America in 2006, heading up the subsidiary's legal department as its presidency changed from Tatsumi Kimishima to Reggie Fils-Aimé. She would go on to take leadership roles in the company's marketing, business affairs, and publisher relations sectors before landing her current title of Nintendo of America's Executive Vice President of Revenue, Marketing, and Consumer Experience in 2021. She has a legal background. She has a doctorate in law from Gonzaga. She also has a bachelor's degree in biological sciences from Kansas State University. Huh. It's interesting here. So they talk about how with Reggie, he would often talk about his video game habits. You know, there's always that, I've got to get back to Animal Crossing on my Nintendo 3DS, and things like that. And you don't get a lot of that from Mr. Bowser, right?
Yeah.
Very little. He talks, about Donkey Kong Arcade. So I'm hoping he's touched a Nintendo game since then. I don't know. With Devon, we don't have a ton of that history. There is that one famous picture of her holding the little Pikmin plushie. So people are, of course, thinking that, we're going to get a new Pikmin under her leadership. Not that Nintendo of America really has any say in anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some quotes here from Kit and Krista, who we've brought up on this podcast before. They are former Nintendo of America marketing employees. And let's see what they have to say. So Krista says, quote, "She definitely loves Nintendo. Like all of us, she has these childhood memories of connecting with Nintendo in some way, shape, or form. She's probably not playing games every day for many hours. She's not a core gamer, as we like to call it, but she definitely understands the industry and she understands how Nintendo fits into it." Kit was then quick to point out that Pritchard has young children and very much views Nintendo's image through them. Quote, "I had some very insightful conversations with her about the industry, about games, and about Nintendo's games. So I think she's really on it." So you mentioned you feel pretty confident about this change.
Yeah.
And I do too. I'm not seeing anything that, makes me think things are going to go poorly by any means, but I'm excited to see what the next few years bring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Story number 2. This is a feature from gamesindustry.biz, Vic Hood over there, and it's titled "Who Bought EA?" So I guess it summarizes it in the intro here, so I'll just start there. Electronic Arts has confirmed it has entered into an agreement to be acquired for $55 billion by an investment consortium comprised of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners. But who are these companies involved, and why has the acquisition ruffled more than a few feathers? Let's start with PIF, that's the Public Investment Fund, the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. Founded in 1971, PIF is among the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, with assets estimated to be worth $925 billion, and is controlled by Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. PIF has already established its presence in the games and esports space, but its investments in the game industry have caused controversy owing to the company's poor record on human rights, including discrimination against women and the fact that homosexuality is illegal in the country. Just a little aside, I seem to remember at some point, they do mention it here. Okay, I was going to say that they invested in Nintendo. They have a 5% stake in Nintendo. So kind of ties into the story here. But yes, they are going to own a whole lot of EA. Along with Silver Lake, which is ranked the 12th largest private equity firm in the world. It's based in the U.S. and headed up by Egon Durbin and Greg Mondre. They specialize in technological investments. The firm currently has a large portfolio, including companies such as Airtable, Dell, Klarna, Noom, Stripe, and Unity Technologies. And then going down here, finally, we have Affinity Partners, an independent U.S. investment firm headed up by Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of U.S. President Donald Trump, and the former director of the Office of American Innovation. He left the White House in 2021 and established Affinity Partners, seeking a $2 billion investment from PIF, which was granted. So, long story short, these three very, very rich entities are taking one of the largest public video game companies and taking them private, which I think is interesting. How does this make you feel? We'll get into kind of what we think the future will be for EA under this leadership, but just the idea that, like, in the past, I don't know how many years, 2 or 3 years, it seems like all of the big third parties have changed in some radical way, right? Ubisoft is restructuring. They just partnered up with Tencent. Activision obviously acquired by Microsoft, and now EA was kind of the last big one standing on its own, and now it's not.
Yeah, I legitimately have no idea how to feel about this, except I'm wondering, like, what's going to happen to The Sims.
Right. I mean, it's interesting, I think particularly in the gaming space, the one we hear of most often is that Saudi Arabian public investment fund. And, they've bought up things like big stakes in WrestleMania. They obviously have a bunch of American comedians right now that's drawing a lot of controversy. And, we mentioned Nintendo's or their involvement in Nintendo, but they also have a stake in Capcom and Nexon Gaming, Take-Two Interactive, Embracer Group, like Niantic, so Pokemon Go. Like they're kind of spreading their tendrils all over the games industry where they can. And it's so interesting, right? Because, like, I mentioned WrestleMania, which is very much a part, I think, of Americana. And when it comes to video games, I think the closest things we have to that are things like Madden, right? And you mentioned The Sims, and like, I don't know, it's odd for properties that big to now be going private. They're gonna, you'd have to imagine there's gonna be some discussions about what kinds of content can be in those products, and,
right? Which
you know,
I think would have to be the largest concern that everybody probably has because of just how different everything is there.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's such a big company and they have so much that you'd have to think they couldn't make that radical of changes, though. You know what I mean? So, like,
And that's my thought. Yeah, that's what I would hope, right?
right. But I mean, like, and then you look at it the other way, which I think there's a lot to be said. I think there's going to be a lot of feelings about this for a lot of reasons that I don't even really want to get into because I don't even really know. But all I know is
Right, that's the thing, right? Yeah, I don't feel like we're super adequately prepared to
I mean, like,
tackle this.
I've been hearing about this for a couple of days, but I mean, like, I'm just saying that, like, I can imagine that the temperature of this is definitely all over the place. Like, I can see how it would be all over the place, and I can understand too. But I'm also wondering, like, I want to look at things both ways, and obviously, we're looking at a company that we're hoping does well and does good by the consumers because we care about the products. So I'm also trying to look at it in the light of, like, will this go in a good direction? Does this mean more funding for things that we'll like to see? Maybe things that weren't available to us before will be available to us. Maybe there's going to be tech advancement. Like, I wonder in that way. I hope for that way. But I worry for content changing and what not being public anymore could mean. You know,
and that's my concern. Obviously, there are some very different moral values that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has. Obviously, Jared Kushner, of course, is a controversial figure here in the U.S. But I think it's easy for people to kind of write off EA as like, I don't play Madden, I don't play FIFA, I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, one of my favorite games this year was Split Fiction, which was published by EA, and It Takes Two, and those kind of Haze-like games that we talk about. And they have a good partnership going with Star Wars, and they're working on an Iron Man game. Like, do you see this affecting any of those partnerships that they have with Disney or the NFL or anything like that?
Isn't Dead Space EA? Pretty sure.
That's true. Yeah. I didn't play that remake. Did you like that remake?
Oh God, I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye out on what's going on with EA. This will not close until 2027. So
got some time.
Obviously, we've got some time, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about it in the coming years. Story number 3. Even Capcom was surprised at how well Resident Evil Requiem runs on Switch 2. This is by Ollie Reynolds at Nintendo Life. When Resident Evil Requiem was announced for the Switch 2, we must admit to being a little surprised that the game could conceivably run well on Nintendo's new console. We weren't the only ones either. According to a new interview with Famitsu, director Koshi Nakanishi said that the development team itself was surprised at how well the game ran on Switch 2. Quote, "To begin with, the game is made to be fairly scalable. We've been making it by adjusting various options so it can be compatible with a wide range of specs from high to relatively low, so the Switch 2 can be optimized to suit the specs quite smoothly. We haven't tried to force something made for high-end performance to slow down, but have assumed a variety of spec conditions in advance. Even we were surprised when we first saw it how beautifully it ran. I think it was thanks to the engine team's hard work that it ran so smoothly." And then they go on to talk about how their hands-on time with the game at TGS was pretty good, and they were pretty impressed with it. The more I hear about this port, Jordan, I do think I might play this mainline Resident Evil 9 game on Switch 2. I might do that first.
I love that for us. I hope you do.
I'm curious. As long as I'm not really missing out, I'm willing to try.
I'll tell you what. I know for fact that I will end up getting on the Switch 2 eventually. I know I will do it. It's just who I am, and I've accepted it. So, like, eventually I'm gonna do it. But because you haven't really you've never really been like a big Resident Evil guy.
Not in modern years. I really like 4 is one of my favorite games of all time.
God,
I love the 4 remake. I think those, the Resident Evil remake we got on GameCube that's now everywhere. I like that stuff. I think by the time you get to 5 and 6, I kind of fall off, just because I don't think they're very high quality games compared to what came before.
Yeah.
And then I never really got into the first person games, Village and Biohazard. So like this will kind of, and I would like to give those a chance. I remember playing Biohazard quite a bit with you when it came out. But yeah, there's something about this one that feels like it's the time to get back in.
And not to fall down the Resident Evil rabbit hole, but
Sure.
I love how the first and the third person views, how they change the difficulty a little bit based on like how things you trip and fall if you're third person. Like that is so cool. And the way where I'm going with this is that like there's going to be a lot of very experience based things that shape or excuse me, like mechanic based things, I guess, like that shape the experience, where it's like the experience in itself isn't just the visuals and the graphics and the fidelity that you get maybe from PC, but the environment that's being created around you based on how the game plays. And if the Switch handles it well portably, like that's pretty awesome. So I don't know, man. I mean, maybe I'll do both. I don't really know.
We'll see when we get there. It's not too far off, just a couple months away. Story number 4. Random. Bandai unleashes palm-sized Legend of Zelda weapons collection in Japan next year. This is from PJ O'Reilly on Nintendo Life. The fantastic character designs of the Legend of Zelda series have always lent themselves very well to amiibo, toys, and all that sweet merchandise and action that we all seem to love very much. Now, Bandai Candy Toy has announced... sorry, I don't know why that brand really threw me, has announced a set of 10 collectible, fully licensed Legend of Zelda weapons, which we love the idea of because, hey, the weapons in these games deserve a whole lot of love, too. Currently slated for release in late February 2026 in Japan, the Dinky box set recreates Link's Hylian Shield, Master Sword, bow, and a bunch of other iconic weapons from the most recent games in the series in cute, palm-sized miniature fashion. Each one even comes with a little stand. I'm going to go down the list here. So in each set here, they're blind boxes from what I understand. I know. You get one pre-painted miniature figure. There are 9 possible varieties. You get a dedicated display base engraved with the logo. The Master Sword will also include an additional support stand for, I guess, like a sheath. And then you get a soda-flavored gum. So the lineup of weapons here, there are 9 types. There's the Master Sword, the Hylian Shield, the Royal Claymore, the Zora Longsword, the 7 Jewels Dagger, the Great Eagle Bow, the Stone Crusher, the Light Scale Trident, and the rarest... I see. Okay, so there's a Master Sword, and then there's a very rare Master Sword sheathed version. It's kind of like the secret pull. So they're estimating about $30 to $40 to get these, imported and sent over. I'm sure, if they were localized and available here, they wouldn't cost that. But do you see yourself dropping something like that for a blind box item?
I mean,
it sounds like you're not crazy about.
I am crazy about this idea. I'm just bummed out about the choices they made. Like, I'd be really into the Claymore, the Desert Eagle Bow, the Great Eagle Bow, and the Stone Crusher. I think are really cool. But like the Master Sword, I know it's iconic, but like I already participated in the Master Sword drop, so like I don't feel like I need a little version. But like the thing that gets me is their like rare Master Sword sheath version. I'm like, ooh, that'd be fun to try to get. Like I'm gonna get suckered into it, but I want to see things like the Razor Sword from Majora's Mask. Like I want to see some of the more niche items from across the games, or like. Give me like the hook shot from Ocarina of Time, or like a potion. Like I'd be into that. Like I think the weapons is really cool. I think this is very cool. So I'm not against it in any way. I'm just saying that like I hope maybe they expand this into other items, and I wish it wasn't a blind box situation. Because dude, if they're like $30 or $40 or whatever they're gonna cost, and I get 2 of them, I'm gonna be like, God damn it!
I know. I agree with you. As much as I'd like Breath of the Wild, like. Some of these are cool, but I don't need 9 different I don't need the light scale trident.
Like, if I buy one and I get the fucking Zora longsword, I'm not buying anymore. I'm done.
Right. That's always the thing with these, right? Because you like, okay, I love Zelda. I'm gonna get one of these, put it on my shelf, and then it ends up being the Zora longsword, and then people are like, "What is that?" And you're like, I know,
like it's a mess, but I bought it."
Right. I want to show you really quick. I just remembered this. I got this weekend in a blind box.
Blind box, baby.
So we've talked a little bit, I think maybe off the podcast, about Labubu and Pop Mart and stuff, and they have a vending machine. They have one at a couple of the malls around here, and they have a Dragon Ball, specifically a vehicle set. So I was hoping, they've got Yamcha's plane, they've got like Oolong's bus, they've got stuff like that, right? And this was one of the two. I liked all of them, but there were like two where I'm like, I wouldn't be as stoked if I got those, and I, of course, got one of them. But I got General Blue's plane.
Whoa!
Here. Yeah, this opens up.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Is it like kind of heavy too?
Yeah, it's metal.
What mall?
Yeah, they're very cool.
What mall?
So you worked at one of these malls.
Oh.
I haven't been to that vending machine, and then the other one is the one we always would go to when we were
all right
growing up. So
cool.
Yeah. So blind boxes aren't always bad.
No.
And like with these, they all have such that iconic like Toriyama style that I'm like, it doesn't really matter which one I get. I'm gonna put it up there with my Dragon Ball stuff. It's gonna be cool. Story number 5. I have a review roundup for Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. We don't need to spend a ton of time on this because these games are old. But it's currently on OpenCritic. They are sitting at an 86 critic average. Not bad at all. Let's look at a little blurb here. Let's go with Nintendo Life. This is Ollie Reynolds, who gave it a 9 out of 10. Galaxy 2 on Switch includes the same additions as the first game. It includes assist mode to give newcomers a leg up, and if you're playing co-op, player 2 can use the mouse controls on Switch too. It also suffers from the same quirks. The gyro controls, although perfectly serviceable, never feel quite as good as the original Wii controls, though some of the camera issues in the original perhaps aren't quite as prevalent here. And I mentioned just playing a little bit of this last night. It's never bad, but it's odd. I played it with a Pro Controller. It does have the pointer there, and it works better than I remember it working in 3D All-Stars with the first Galaxy. Okay. But yeah, it's, you can do the whole like shake to launch yourself in the star. And I did that a couple times, but then I was like, I'm just going to, I got it mapped to the Y button, so I'm going to do that. Do these reviews change how you feel about these ports at all? Are they going to affect?
Not really. I mean,
good or bad?
I definitely am a review guy. Like I watch a lot of reviews and on any kind of product, really. Like I could be buying a vacuum and I'm like, I'm going to check this out. Sure. But like when it comes to games, honestly, I'm so open-minded and partial to like what experiences I've had in the past. So we're pretty familiar with a lot of these franchises. So like anytime something comes out, I'll read the review, but it really won't affect all too much whether or not I'm going to play it. Because like if I like what they've done in the past, I'm going to play it.
Yeah, I mean these are pretty known quantities. And it's nice to see that. Yeah, it does seem like they put a little more work into it compared to that 3D All-Stars release of the first game, and that there aren't any major flaws that prevent people from enjoying this. Got a little out this week for you. Let's start off for October 7th. We've got on the Switch 1 Battlesuit Aces. Then on October 9th, we've got Yuka Replay on the Switch 2, Absalom on the Switch 1, and By Sweet Carol. Those are all, like I said, October 9th. And that one is interesting. So that one is like almost like Disney villain inspired. And has a very cool art style to it. On October 10th, we've got a decent couple of games here. We got Disgaea 7 Complete on the Switch 2. We've got Ys versus Trails in the Sky Alternative Saga on the Switch 1. And then this is of interest to you, Little Nightmares 3 on both Switch 1 and 2. And then, in a kind of confusing move for me, I don't know why they're putting it out on the same day, but Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition for the Switch 2. That's day one for you, right? The 3 specifically.
Yeah, day one for me, and I'm doing it on the Switch.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Any interest in this enhanced edition of the first game? I don't know what's new in it.
I don't even really know what's in the enhanced edition. I bought the special edition for PlayStation already.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see if this one's any different. But yeah, I mean, if it's a good price and there's good, I should probably do a little bit of research on what comes with this. But I would replay it if there was some kind of enticing thing for the Switch 2. I heard you type. Are you Googling it too? Because I'm doing the same thing.
I'm looking at it. I'm trying to find specifically
visually upgraded version of the original Little Nightmares.
Okay.
This edition will feature 4K resolution, 60 frames per second performance. Ooh, ray traced reflections. I like that. Improved lighting and detailed particles, faster load times, and revised checkpoints. Honestly, it's been some time since I've played the first one, and Amanda and I were actually just talking about this pretty recently, but we're pretty interested in playing through them again. So if I wanted to play through it again, I would like to play the newest, most enhanced version. So for a good price point, if they're going to sell this thing for $60 or $70 for a Switch 2 version, I don't know what they're going to do.
Sure.
Probably not, but if it's enticing, what is it, like $20 hopefully?
So I'm not seeing a Nintendo listing, but I'm not seeing a price on this bad boy.
The enhanced edition of Little Nightmares for the Switch 2 costs the full purchase price, as the free upgrade offered to PlayStation and Xbox does not apply to the Nintendo platforms due to technical limitations.
So, at least on the Xbox side, it looks like it is included when you purchase Little Nightmares 3.
Well, shit.
So, if that's the same case on Switch, I mean, that could be pretty cool.
I know what I just found said that Nintendo, it's not going to apply to Nintendo platforms due to tech limitations.
Huh. I wonder what that means.
I wonder, is the Switch capable of knowing that I own the game? Yeah, it does, because
definitely, yeah, because they've done things like that. Yeah.
Weird, but I mean that would be a bummer because 100% I'd like to buy this on the Switch, but if I got a free other upgrade on somewhere else, I don't know that would entice me to change completely though, because I'm just interested in playing more games on the Switch too. So I think either way, I'm going to end up getting the third one on the Switch too. Anyway, it's just going to be a bummer. That's all.
Yeah, I can't seem to find a definitive answer on the Nintendo side, but yeah, on the Xbox store they have Little Nightmares 3 pre-order for $40 US, and it does include the original game enhanced edition.
I mean, I would hope they go gentle, because Little Nightmares 2 was on sale on the original Switch a little while back for like $3.
Okay. I need to try those games. They look fun, and like you mentioned with these upgrades, like it seems so atmospheric that I think the lighting stuff, the particle effects like that, I think will really enhance that game. I think
so.
So, for our story of the week, I feel like I've got a bunch of ideas kicking around that I want to do at some point, but it's just kind of a matter of like trying to figure out when. And we've talked about some too, right, that we want to do down the line. But one of the ones I've thought about, and the timing just kind of worked out, is I want to talk about the value we get out of our gaming choices, our monetary value specifically. Because that is a big part of gaming, whether we like it or not. This hobby costs money. Sometimes it costs a lot of money. And I want to discuss that. So the thing that kind of spurred this on, as I'm sure people listening are aware of, is the price structure and change of Game Pass on the Xbox side of things. And, stick with me, because I know it's not exactly Nintendo related, but as one player in the industry decides to make a move, the others kind of, react to it. So I'm going to read a little bit here from this post on the Xbox Wire from Team Xbox. That's titled Updates to Xbox Game Pass, Introducing Essential, Premium, and Ultimate Plans. Our goal with Game Pass has been clear: deliver unmatched value, benefits, and a deep library of games for our players. Since launching in 2017, we've steadily grown our subscriber and creator satisfaction, and today, creator participation and player engagement in Game Pass are at an all-time high. But we have the opportunity for Game Pass to help more players find the creators and games they love. We know not everyone wants the same thing in their Xbox experience, so we're evolving Game Pass to offer more flexibility, choice, and value to our players. Whether you love day one releases, discovering hidden gems, or playing across multiple devices and screens across Xbox consoles, Xbox on PC, and Xbox Cloud. We're introducing 3 upgraded Game Pass plans, Essential, Premium, and Ultimate. Each includes expanded game libraries, including PC titles, unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits, and a revamped rewards with Xbox experience. Going kind of through oh man, this image is so small. In the 3 plans here, so we've got Essential, which is not kind of that revolving door of what people think of as Game Pass. This is a lot of first-party titles. This is maybe things that have been on Game Pass for a long time. It says 50-plus games on PC, console, and cloud. That's $10 a month. Then you've got the premium tier, which has over 200 games. So that's that big library we're talking about. This looks like all 3 tiers do let you play online now. That wasn't always the case. And then you've got Ultimate, which is, again, playable on PC, console, and cloud. But the kicker is that service is going from $20 a month to $30 a month. And kind of the only tangible updates to that I can see are that it now includes Fortnite Crew. That subscription is included. And you're getting the Ubisoft Classics library included into Game Pass. So this is a big jump. This, I mean, as someone who has Game Pass Ultimate, this is a 50% increase. So obviously I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, that's, do I want to do that month to month? That puts, there's no, annual plan. So you are spending $360 a year on this if you choose to do that.
Lord.
I know you have Game Pass. Do you know what tier you're on?
Yeah, I'm on Ultimate.
Okay. Yeah. So same thing.
Yeah.
Obviously this is a kind of crazy move right now. Xbox, 3rd place in the console space, which is okay. It doesn't mean they're doing poorly, but they are not, necessarily as successful as PlayStation and Nintendo have been in the last decade or so. I mean, I've been a Game Pass member since 2018, like solidly since Sea of Thieves came out. That was the game that like got me to subscribe. Wow. And I've just been on it since, and I've played a ton of great games, both on the first party side and third party, through that service. I've done it on console, I've done it on PC, I've done it on through the cloud, like on my phone. And I don't know. I feel like for the first time, I'm really reevaluating if I want to keep doing this. Are you kind of having these same thoughts when you see this increase?
I don't know, man. I'm torn because I hate the idea of losing it. Because I use, like you, I use it quite a bit. I'll see a game on there that I want to try. It's convenient. It was cheap. No, it's not, but it was cheap. So it was like a no-brainer. I'd have this. Now I'm thinking, okay, because like I still buy game. Like there's plenty of games that I'm interested in that aren't on Game Pass. So like I find myself buying games. So now I find myself thinking, well, games are $70 now. I usually buy just the standard version of games. I'm, when it comes to Nintendo and the things we like to talk about, I'll often drop money on those special editions and collector's editions and things. But with Xbox, I'm pretty lax. So I'm thinking like, Xbox titles, how many games a year do I buy? Because at $70, that's like 5 games a year. So I'm thinking, are there 5 games this year that I'm going to buy that are on this service that I'm going to play?
Right.
And this year, maybe, because so I was looking at the list. High on Life 2, day one.
Sure. Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big get, even if it's not my thing every year, right? I mean, I liked last year's, but that's obviously huge.
Obviously huge. And I mean, like, sure, if you don't want to play multiplayer, then you're going to want to buy the game. You got to buy the game. Multiplayer, I'm assuming, is still going to be free. I'm a noob with Call of Duty. I just assumed.
Well, so on the PC side, but yeah, if you want to play online on Xbox, you do need one of these plans.
Yeah. So Call of Duty, High on Life. The Outer Worlds, I love the Outer Worlds games, man. So Outer Worlds 2, definitely a launch title for me. Very excited. So there's 3 right there for me. Everything else though, like Grounded 2, I've dabbled with, but like I don't need it. And there's not really a lot of other information for titles that I was able to find and confirm. At least ones that are
Yeah,
interesting to me.
I know some highlights this year, stuff, unfortunately, that I haven't really got around to playing, but like Expedition 33, which is getting a lot of attention this year, probably going to be talked about a lot in awards season. That's on Game Pass
Yeah.
day one. Hollow Knight Silksong is launched on Game Pass.
That's another good example of a game. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a $20 game,
Sure.
but like you mentioned Outer Worlds 2, that is an interesting one to me because they tried to do the whole $80 thing. And we're going to talk about that $80 price point, but yeah, they put it out there, and I think it was almost like a test bed to be like, sure, if you want it, you can buy it a la carte, but like it makes more sense for you to just subscribe to Game Pass.
Yeah. And I don't think that normally it's worth it for me, but like I'm looking at this list thinking maybe it is sometime. And I am really curious. 400 plus games. Like I know they is it Ubisoft's classic library or some? What did I see?
Yeah, they're adding that with Ultimate.
So like I'm thinking like, okay, well, I'm gonna dabble, but like I just keep weighing, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And I just don't know. And I mean, I can't help but think I'm probably gonna stick with it for a little while, but I don't even know, man. What happens? So if I download these games and then I'm not a Game Pass member anymore, I lose them, don't I?
You just won't be able to open
them.
They'll stay on your hard drive. They'll do all that, but you just, when you go to open it, it'll be like, hey, you need to buy this or resubscribe. Like,
but like, at the same time, the thing I do like about Game Pass that I don't even use, which is one of the things I'm like sucking on with this, it's like, I love that I can have my console hooked up and I got that cross save situation.
Yeah, that's super
like
nice.
That's really huge too. But I do find myself really just playing Xbox on PC these days. My Xbox, every time I plug it in, it's like, and then it has to update from like the last year and a half.
You kind of mentioned something a bit ago about how Game Pass has kind of changed the way you buy games, particularly on Xbox, right? Because there's always that possibility that the game's going to come to Xbox. So I don't always want to buy a brand new $70 game day one, because I mean, in a year it could be on Game Pass, and I already have that. And I definitely noticed myself doing the same. I'm much more willing to buy a first party PlayStation game or anything, on Switch. So let's talk about the Switch, since this is podcasting with power. So we mentioned that $80 price point. Nintendo actually started this trend. I think we all kind of thought, GTA is going to try to do something when they launch. They're going to price it at $100 or something for the base edition. And Nintendo beat them to the punch with Mario Kart World, launching at $80. Now, of course, you did have the option to get that bundle with Switch 2, and a lot of people went that route. We both went that route. Having now spent a couple months with Mario Kart, I think we both returned to it a couple times since that initial kind of wave. Do you feel like that's worth $80?
No, I don't.
It's tough.
It's hard because I don't know how to think about it sometimes. Like, and I know we've kind of sliced this onion a couple of times in different ways.
Yeah.
But it's hard because is that question, would I buy it for $80? Because would I? Yes. Would I be happy about it? I think is the better question. And
sure,
the answer is probably yes. But because I have to have it, I want to play it. And it's an electric game, man. Like, I really do like it. But content-wise, is it worth $80? No.
Right. It does feel like it's just kind of manipulating the fact that Mario Kart 8 obviously is one of Nintendo's best-selling games ever. At however many million copies we're at now, 50, 60, I don't know what that number is. I do think it's interesting they have not priced a game like that since.
Yeah.
And obviously we're not too far out from Mario Kart World, but like, do you see them doing that? And if so, like what franchises do you think they would charge $80 for? Because they didn't do it for Donkey Kong. We're not doing it for Pokemon. Like,
wild that they're not doing it for Pokemon. But Mario, Zelda, Mario, well, the top two for sure, because they know those are my carrots on the stick. Those are the ones people want.
And you're right. They did with Tears of the Kingdom. That was a $70 game on Switch, where everything else was $60. I think those are both good polls, but looking at the other games that have sold not as well as Mario Kart, but are up there. I mean, is Animal Crossing on Switch 2? Is that going to be an $80 video game?
I feel like they might.
I bet it is.
I bet you it is.
I bet if there is only one more $80 game this generation from Nintendo, it is Animal Crossing. And maybe Smash.
It's dirty. It's dirty, but they know it. They know they're going to do it. They can get away with it.
And as far as Pokemon's concerned, I think maybe this game being cross-gen between Switch 1 and 2 might kind of hold that back. Mm-hmm. But could the next generation of Pokemon be $80? I mean, I think so. I could see that.
Do you think that the Pokemon company has anything to do with the price point?
Like, as far as keeping it
lower
where it's at right now. I mean, I'm sure they're part of that discussion. But I don't know. I mean, the Pokemon company is not adverse to making as much money as possible.
I know. And I'm wondering though, isn't it weird? I think it's weird because we know Pokemon's one of the biggest ones. That people will just spend on. They'll do it.
I think once they lock Pokemon to Switch 2, I think maybe then we'll see that jump.
If you know what? Good point. Yeah. I bet you're right.
Because they don't want with ZA, they don't want you to have the option of a $60 Switch 1 version or a $80, $90, $100 Switch 2
Absolutely.
version.
No, I think you're exactly right. I think you nailed it. That's got to be the reason, actually.
So while, like I said, Outer Worlds tried to do the 80 thing after Mario Kart kind of pioneered it, had to walk that back because people were very much not happy about that. But as we're seeing all these other things in the industry rise, like we've talked about on this show about Switch 1 prices going up and Switch accessories, and the price of Xbox consoles just went up again. The Series X is $650 now retail.
Good Lord.
For a console that came out 5 years ago. It has gone up $150. It's gone up another $50 in a couple months, right, from where it was. PlayStation's had to do the same, so everything is going up. Do you think the $70 price point in general is maybe long for this world, or do you think that will go up?
Oh man,
that's kind of the standard.
Oh man, dude, I hate to say it, but I think we're just in the beginning of this.
I kind of think so too.
I think this is just the start. I think that we saw $60 games for maybe too long. Maybe some would say. Didn't adjust to inflation and everything. I feel like we're in for a wild ride with the cost of games, especially as the market becomes more dynamic with experiences and how you can, because I mean, man, we got VR, there's so many different ways and avenues that you can experience a game in, and I think that the amount of work that's going to begin going into developing these games to be optimal across platforms, I think just due to that, with the industry changing, I think we're just in for a ride for what the prices are going to be.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I hope that we see publishers kind of explore the scale, not everything needs to and can sell at $70 or $80. Like, you can put out smaller experiences at, whatever. Okay. We talked about when Hollow Knight Silksong came out that we were kind of surprised that it was $20. Like, after how long they spent on that game and how expansive that game and popular it is, $20 seems pretty low. They could have gotten away with. They probably could have gotten away with 40 and no one would have blinked an eye.
Yeah, I think so.
But then again, I think there are people maybe like yourself that, not having played the first game, looked at that and went, yeah, $20, I'll try it. Once you double that, and maybe that changes that conversation. But we started this conversation with Game Pass, so I want to kind of talk about the obvious analog on Nintendo, and that is Switch Online. And just this question, is it a valuable service? So like off the top, like, do you feel like you're getting your money's worth from Switch Online?
No, well, historically or currently?
Give me both. I mean, I'm curious.
Historically, yeah. I mean, I have sunk hours into the classics collection. So yes, there was a point in time where I felt very satisfied with what was available to us, what we could do. But currently, no, I don't. And it's because they really need to speed up some of these releases, man. How long do we got to wait for the games we know are coming? Like, just put them out. Like, my God.
Yeah, I mean, on the GameCube side, we've talked about this. Like, it launched with 3 games. We got Strikers, I think, maybe in August, and we have not got anything since.
Dude, we got Win backed. You know, I fucking
yeah, right. So tell me, I mean, you're definitely on the expansion pack of Switch Online. I know that.
Yeah.
Are you in an individual plan or a family plan?
Individual plan.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on a family plan, which is, I mean, a great way to break up the cost if the people on that plan pay for it, which is not the case in my experience. But
you got moochers, baby. Woo!
Yeah, I just pay for me and 7 other people.
Holy shit!
That's okay. A couple of them are listening, and I don't care. It's fine.
You want me to break
it's nice
knees?
To have, but it's I feel like I'm taking them under my wing. Like, here, play these games, play online, please, enjoy.
Do it.
Yeah, I don't mind, but it is a good value. I mean, like I said, you get 8 people in that family group if you want. Sure. You can break up that cost to $10 a year if you want. Yeah. So so I guess the individual plan for the base Nintendo Switch Online is $20 a year, and it is $50 a year for the expansion pack. Geez. And then on the family side, it is $35 a year for the base and $80 for the expansion. Which again, with 8 people, it's really not bad. And with that, you get online play, you get Nintendo Classics. On the base plan, you get the NES, the SNES, and the Game Boy. And with the expansion pack, you get N64, Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, and on Switch 2, the GameCube. Do we know where Virtual Boy is going to land on this? They can't put that in the expansion pack, right?
Oh wait, we do. We totally know. We may not remember, but we totally know.
Okay.
I think it's the base one.
It's got to be. You can't charge me extra for the Virtual Boy when I already have to buy a $100 thing to play it.
Dude, absolutely not. Well, no, wait. Isn't there a cardboard version you can do?
Yeah, but like come on.
It says Nintendo Classics require a paid Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack membership.
Okay, so I gotta be subscribed to the expansion pack. I also have to buy the accessory. You're right. I could buy the cardboard one for $25, but that's a pretty big buy-in for the Virtual Boy.
Damn, dude.
But we'll get back to that. You do also with Switch Online get cloud saves, which you mentioned on the Xbox side is just a feature on Xbox. On Switch, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
And then which is true on the PlayStation as well. Now with the Switch 2, you're getting game chat. There's also access to the Nintendo Music app. And then with the expansion pack, you do have access to a couple DLCs. And how they decided on these, I have no idea. But they are the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. They're the Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise thing. The Mario Kart 8 Booster Course pack. And the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions. Okay. Don't know how they landed on those, because there are a lot of DLCs that I feel like could be part of that. If that DK Isle Emerald Rush thing for Bonanza was in there, that'd be cool. That'd be a great value to that. But I just I don't think that was worth $20 necessarily. But in this it would have been fine.
Why are they so fucking stingy on this stuff?
I don't know.
What are we gonna get? Like, are they holding on to this for something? Like, is something crazy gonna get announced? Like some secret? Like, it's so wild that it almost feels like there's got to be something around the corner. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Looking at it, when I was listing it out for this and for this question, I did. I kind of stopped and looked at it, and I thought, I don't know. I feel in my head I'm not upset with it, but actually seeing it all on paper, I'm like, there's really not a ton here.
No.
You and I are playing a lot of the classics as they come out. Certainly not all of them, but I think we've got to be in the minority there.
I think so. I think, to be fair, there's a lot of people who are really, really enjoying the games that are out on classics, but I have to imagine the majority of people are thinking, all right, where's the next one? Like, dude, if you gave me Luigi's Mansion, which we know is coming, I'd feel better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, oh, great.
Sure.
I'd be happy for a little while. I could play Luigi's Mansion now. Give me just one more game. One more big
It's got to be this month, right? It's got to be October.
Fuck, come on.
They're crazy. If it doesn't release in the next month, they're insane.
I'm dying to play Luigi's Mansion in October. So, like, just give it to me,
No, they're going to give you Battalion Wars.
Good Lord, man. Oh.
I love that game, but not a spooky game. Why? So I mentioned like the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions. I kind of feel like all of these Switch 2 editions should maybe be part of this.
Yeah.
I've already bought into the game once, and if I haven't, maybe I'd be willing to, right?
Yeah.
If I knew I was getting this upgrade and this extra content, like if I didn't have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which I didn't own prior to the Switch 2 edition, I mean, maybe I would have bought it digitally full price, knowing I was going to get this, expansion to it. And it seems odd that these are the two they included.
It is.
Because
you're right. Like,
honestly, these are the two you'd want to buy.
I mean,
in my opinion.
If I got to have a Switch 2 to play GameCube, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Yeah, give me the Switch 2 upgrades. All of them.
Yeah.
Like, I just paid fucking $500+ for this thing. I didn't need to. Give me the Switch 2 upgrades. Come on.
So we've talked a little about the stuff we want to see out of the classics, like the other consoles and things like that. I'm kind of curious, just looking at this list here, if they were to add, let's say they add DS games next. Ooh. Where does that go? Which plan gets... Does the base get DS or do just the expansion? Because I kind of look at it like the NES, like the Game Boy. Like the DS was a big cultural touchstone for Nintendo.
Yeah.
There were a lot of DSs out there. I don't know. I feel like it's a good way to entice people to subscribe.
I think so. I mean, especially when you start thinking about what that means. I mean, we both know about that accessory that was making waves on the internet, that second screen,
Yeah.
Like, printing money. Get people on these. Give us DS, make this attachment. I have to imagine that's why we have a charging port on top and bottom now. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it would make some sense.
How
about the Wii? If we get that classics library, where does that go?
That's for sure subscription.
I think expansion.
Yeah,
I think
expansion.
Yeah. What? And you asked this question already. Like, what else could they add? Do you see them ever doing not even necessarily the Game Pass approach, but like how Games with Gold was, or like what PlayStation does, where this month you can claim these 2-3 games, like, and they might be first party, they might be third party. Do you see Nintendo ever doing that?
I don't think they'll ever.
I don't either.
I don't think.
But I feel like they should.
I feel like they should, but I'm also wondering, like, I'm going to regret saying this as soon as I do, because I don't think that they have enough. I don't think they have enough to do that. I think that, well, maybe they do. I think like third party, obviously, indie, like they could totally do that, but
yeah, I think a lot of those third parties would be rushing to get their game featured on there if they could.
That's good exposure.
Yeah.
But I think that would give away too many options for Nintendo, and I just don't feel like they like that. They like to have options. They like to hang on to it, and then they'll release it later. People are they're thinking like, oh, they're just happy that it's on the Switch too. It doesn't matter if it's free.
Yeah. No, that's what I think I would need. Not that I'm really not questioning this subscription at all. I will keep this for the time being, but like that to me would be the thing. Like, give me 1 or 2 games a month and I have to stay subscribed to play them. You know, that's fine. But that'd be great. And whether or not I'm not expecting a Breath of the Wild every month.
Yeah, no.
But
and I mean,
you know,
I'm not, I hate to encourage bad behavior, but like give us more games more often, man. GameCube, like just start saucing games on there. Stop holding them back. Like I hate that. If I had a reason to leave and stop paying for a membership, it's because they're just not keeping up with demand, man. Like they're really not. Like you made us these promises. At least be like forthcoming about when we can expect this stuff. At least.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why there's always Nintendo. I feel like there's the most amount of secrets in the closet with Nintendo. They don't tell us anything. We're very much in the dark all the time. Like at least with like Sony and Microsoft, like I feel like we typically have a pretty good idea of what's on the horizon. It's very, very open book, a lot of sources. Nintendo's like lock and key. They got,
absolutely
never
as much as they can be. Yeah. So, okay. So I think we're in agreement that Switch Online is probably not worth what we're paying for it, but we don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're both at, it seems. But then let's talk about games themselves, okay? So when you are looking at a game that you may or may not want to purchase, I'm curious kind of what are you thinking about? Like price is obviously going to be a big factor. Like we kind of touched on that. Like I think on Nintendo maybe does pricing some of the worst in the industry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think I'm cool paying full price for Mario and Zelda and Pokemon, and when the quality's there. But like I came across a game the other day, and that was Sushi Strikers Way of the Shushido. Do you remember this? It came out on 3DS and the Switch. It was like a very late 3DS game. And I saw it, and this was a used copy, and I thought, you know what, this game is gonna, if I go on the eShop right now, this game is going to be $60 on the eShop. And there's no way in hell that I would buy this for $60 years after it came out. There's no way. Why is this game not $20 on the eShop?
You're telling me this is $60?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll put up a little bit of this game for you to see at home. But yeah, why do Nintendo games not? I was going to kind of say this question: why do Nintendo games not drop in price? Not even go on sale, but why years after release do they not drop? Because I get that you're still selling Mario Kart 8 in gangbusters even now that a successor is out. Like I understand that, but you can't tell me that you are selling Endless Ocean still. It's only been a year, but you can't tell me that people are buying that you're not selling more than a dozen copies a month of that.
I think I know why, and I think I think it's going to change dramatically. I think we're going to see a shift, and I wonder if this shift is going to be maybe partly why they're selling their games for a little bit above what everybody else is, but it's portability. They offer that, and they know it. So it's like they get these games, they offer them in a way that no one else does. But now we have Xbox coming out with a handhold. We know Sony, God, can talk. We got Sony coming out with their hand. Like we know that's in development. We know all these things are around the corner. And I think that we don't see Nintendo games hit those sales because they're like, we have an edge. We have something nobody else does. And that is this game in a fucking park. Like you can go play this anywhere. And if you want to do that, you're buying it on the Switch. And it's like, they didn't have to compete in that way. They didn't have a competitor. Obviously, there's ways to do it, but the main consumer didn't have those options. And I think that with Sony and Microsoft entering that market more than they ever have before, I know that they've been on the market for a little while, but I mean, like, especially over this last year, I think that Nintendo's going to have to find themselves being more competitive because their competitors will be offering these same titles portable.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely hit something there. They know they've got something that, you're right, that people have not been able to replicate for basically the entire of, Switch generation.
Yeah.
And that's changing. So we'll see how they react to that. I think it is telling, as much as this game kind of came and went, and I didn't really care for the test thing that I did, but like Dragon Drive, like that, they priced that at $20, which when it was announced, I mean, I don't think it's worth $60 or $70, but I would have told you that's absolutely what Nintendo's going to charge for it.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little shocked that they went $20 with that.
I know. How much was the welcome tour party thing?
That was maybe 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me like, oh, $50. Oh my God.
Yeah, but like I look at these list of first party games, and like I said, I understand that people are still buying Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like I totally get that, and I get it. But you can't tell me that. And now we're about to start getting sequels for some of these games. Like Mario Tennis Aces is going to continue to be $60 on the eShop when Mario Tennis Fever comes out next year. Yeah. Why?
No reason.
What is why would I ever buy that game when Fever is right here for $10 more and it's new and it's,
And I mean, the thing about it is like, I know I'm not saying we've never seen sales. I should clarify. Like I've seen games go on sale. Like I know it happens.
Yep.
Sometimes I know, but what we're getting at now is like, the game doesn't need to be full price forever. It doesn't. No. Like when we move on, if we're 3 years out, especially if we have a sequel coming in, maybe that's more like 5 years out, but lower the price, man. Like if anything, you're expanding these games to more people. Not everybody wants to shell out 60, 70, whatever you're going to charge, $60 for this old game. They're going to wait for the new one or not get it at all. And it's like, at least make it obtainable for people who don't feel like spending the price of a full game. Get them and, sell them on the game, and then maybe they'll be interested in the new one because they like the old one so much. I don't know what's so hard to understand about that.
Absolutely. Do you remember a little bit of branding that was popular when we were young? And that was the player's choice on different these different platforms, and then it became Nintendo Selects later on the Wii U and 3DS. I'm looking at the lists here of those player choice, programs. So basically, for those that don't know, after a game would sell so much, or even just was on the market for long enough, Nintendo would brand it under this player's choice branding, and they were on the GameCube. I believe they were like $20, and I think that stayed up through probably like the Wii U generation. I think those were maybe 30. And you look at this list, like on the GameCube. And they weren't all there right away. It took some time, but you've got your Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. You've got Mario Sunshine. Wind Waker's on there. Kirby Air Ride. Like most of your first party titles that were out for a long time on the GameCube are on this list. And on the N64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox. Notably, Ocarina of Time is here. Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing. Like. These are big games that people want to play. And at $20, I mean, think about it. Like, you've spent years hearing how great this game is. And maybe you weren't sure. And so maybe a full price title is not what you want to do. But now it's $20. So now it's easy to go, okay, I never played Metroid Prime. Now it's $20. I've heard how great it is. I can buy in for $20. And obviously Nintendo left that behind with the Wii U and 3DS generation because they, like you said, they don't need to.
Right.
But I think we're kind of getting to a point where they do, especially like I mentioned, like you're having Switch 2 sequels are coming out for Switch 1 games, right? And you need to give people some reason why they should even consider looking at those Switch 1 games, right? Because why not? I don't know. I can't imagine buying some of these, like Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah.
If you were into that when that came out, cool, you bought it.
Yeah. But
again, why would anyone right now look at that game and go, yeah, I should spend $60 on Yoshi's Crafted World? But if it were 20, I might. So I don't know. Just a little aside. Nintendo's pricing drives me crazy. But anyway, so when you are trying to find a new game to purchase, like what are you looking for? What makes you go, yeah, I'm willing to buy this game for full price?
Well, I'm looking for something. Honestly, for full price games, I have to be pretty interested. Like,
Okay.
I've got to be pretty bought in. So there's that piece of it. So typically it's probably a mainline title, or it's something that I've seen a lot of marketing for that looks really interesting. And this would require me to do literally months of reading and, you know, like I said earlier, I'm a reviews guy, but I'll usually trust knowledge, my own knowledge. So if it's brand new to me, I do a lot of research.
Sure.
And for just small things I'm looking for, like I am always looking for an experience. So like whether that experience is a really long story, so it's promising a lot of gameplay, or maybe that experience is online and I'm experiencing it with people there and it's just funny or fun and a good time. Like there has to be a substantial experience, whether that's the length of the game and the story or what I'm getting out of experiencing with a group of people. That's really the biggest pieces for me.
Okay. Do you, kind of the inverse of what you were talking about with Game Pass, like, because you know Nintendo games don't go on sale, are you more willing, you think, to just buy in right when they come out, since like there's really no reason to wait?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, Nintendo's different, I think, and I think it's probably the same for the two of us, but typically when there's a large Nintendo release, I'm usually pretty excited about it. So typically I'm a day one person.
Yeah.
And if I'm not a day one person, I'll be like within the first 90 days person.
Sure. Yeah. Does the length of a game ever like scare you away from buying it? If you hear, oh, this is a 10-hour game,
yeah,
maybe.
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, okay, great. I mean, I want to say yes. I'm going to say yes, it does. But if I hear really good things about it, it may not shy me away. It really has to be something kind of tremendous. But yeah, it does scare me away.
Yeah, I think I don't like doing the whole like dollar per hour thing that some people do, right? I don't want to do that. Yeah. But I know certain genres are going to be short, right? Like Metroidvanias typically are short because they want you to replay them and speedrun and all that stuff, right? So like Metroid Dread, the first time I played through that, I don't know if it was 8, 9, 10 hours, like something like that, but not, not like Breath of the Wild was, where I spent 100 hours.
Right.
But I felt like because the quality was there, I got my money's worth. And not all Metroidvanias are that way. Like Hollow Knight is, I think, very much on the long side.
Yeah.
And at a lower price point. So that's nice. And I think you kind of touched on this already, but if something is a new franchise, is that kind of like take a lot more to kind of get over that hill of,
honestly, for Nintendo more than everywhere else? Yeah, I think the speed bump for Nintendo is definitely I feel that one harder than I do everywhere else, because I never really know what I'm in for. And I would say with Nintendo, out of everybody, like the difficulty of the game kind of plays into it too. Like I'm not trying to get involved in this game and it's so easy and it's not challenging. Like in Nintendo, a lot of times I feel like I'll get into a game and it's just not as challenging as I was hoping for it to be, which results in me flying through it faster than I'd maybe like to. I like to be challenged. So like I want to know what I'm getting into. So it is hard with new Nintendo games. I remember when Splatoon came out being really skeptical. I was like, am I going to like this? And then as the years have gone by with Splatoon, I do really enjoy playing Splatoon. It is fun, but like because it is a multiplayer game. Like that is how you play Splatoon. You play it online, and like I kind of fall out of that. So like to me, when the newer ones have come out, I got into 3, but they didn't retain me for very long. They got me for that buy. Like I locked it in.
Yeah.
But Splatoon 4, I don't think I would.
Okay, fair enough. And same thing, like you did kind of mention this too off the top, but like for me, if a game is multiplayer focused, like I am way less willing to spend money on that. Just because I typically don't play those games. Every once in a while I'll get into one, but do you find that like single player easy, swipe the card, or is it kind of still what you're talking about, just case by case?
It's case by case, but I'm really always hoping for a single player difficult, some kind of heavy experience game. I am also a single player guy. I typically enjoy single player more than multiplayer.
Okay. Are you pre-ordering a lot of games?
Only for Nintendo if it comes with some kind of incentive.
Yeah, that for me is all it is. I mean, I've kind of gotten over in the digital age when I'm mostly buying digital games. There's no reason.
I find too that I don't remember the last time I didn't get a pre-order bonus, even when I didn't pre-order it. I always end up
with Ghost of Yotei. I opened that disc because I did buy a physical disc of that. I open it, and inside it has a little thing with a code, and I get a little in-game mask and avatars and all that stuff. So like, yeah, I just walked in, got that today.
Yeah,
I have the pre-order content.
It's wild.
So yeah, so I typically don't do that unless it is, like you said, something where I'm getting something that, and even then, like, it's got to be meaningful enough that I'm willing to to do it. And I'll usually still just do it once reviews drop. With a game like Ghost of Yotei, like those reviews dropped 2 weeks ago. So I know what I'm getting.
Yeah. I don't know. I miss the days of like really cool collector's edition things. Like that's it's hard to understand what there isn't to understand about that. Like if you want to sell physical media, people gravitate towards some kind of reward in a collector's edition that has like Steelbook. I miss that. I love Steelbook. Like I think that's really cool to do. Give us some Steelbook Switch games, man. Like I not only am I all for preserving video game history, Nintendo history specifically, but entice me with like a cool thing. Like you'll lock me in, I'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, I have one for Metroid Dread. And I think the Tears of the Kingdom collector's edition had one too.
Yeah.
But for games that don't have a big collector's edition like that, like just put it out there.
Yeah.
Why not? So then are there specific, because I know I have these, where there are specific franchises, maybe genres that I look at and I go, I'll get that later. I'll get that on sale. Like you have those. Like, I mean, it's kind of a meme at this point, but like Ubisoft games are that.
Yeah.
Because this holiday season, they will be cheap. That's why I never bought the second Mario and Rabbids.
Okay.
Like I was like, oh, it'll, I don't have time right now and it will be $20 at the end of the year. And sure enough, it was. And I haven't got around to it. So I never bought it. But I think it's easy to look at Ubisoft in particular and go, oh, yeah, like I can wait.
Yeah. No.
You have plenty of those?
I honestly, no, I'm so spontaneous with that stuff.
Sure.
Like legitimately, if I want something, I don't wait usually. Like
yeah, I'm kind of there too.
And like I'll know when I really want something by me not wanting to wait. That's like how I'll really be like, oh yeah, okay, I really want it. I'm thinking about it. But like if I can afford to wait, like if it's not bothering me and I see it go on sale, I'll lock it in. I do that all the time. Like I'll just I mean, you probably do this. I just browse Steam or the Nintendo eShop. Like I'll just be on there cruising, just seeing what's out there. And sometimes I'll be like, oh no shit, it's like $5 and I'll lock it. That's how I got all the Little Nightmares for Switch actually.
Yeah. I have mostly gotten away from doing that. I used to have a big problem with that where if a game was on sale for under $15-20, I would get it if I just had some interest. And now I'm kind of like, unless I plan to play it, unless I have like a plan, like I'm not doing it.
That's a good.
Like I really want Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga on my Switch. It's rumored right now to get a Switch 2 edition soon. I played it on Xbox on sale for like $15, but I'm like, I'm not gonna play it anytime soon. If it gets that Switch 2 edition, I would. But but every time I see it, I go, I should buy this right now. I'm like, I don't need to. I'm good. I got games to play. I don't need that.
Yeah. It's a bad habit, but I do it.
Yeah, I've had to get away from it because I definitely would do it quite a bit.
Oh man, such a sucker, dude.
I know. Like, it's hard to quantify, right? Because like something like Ghost of Yotei, I knew I was like, yeah, I want to go get that.
Yeah.
Day one, that's what I want to do. Even Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, like, even not having a ton of interest in the first one right now, like, I still was like, okay, yeah, like, and like you said, it's a known quantity, so like, probably not too tough.
I'm really, if I hear like even 5 more things about Ghost of Yotei, and they're like, yeah, like if that was a PC day one, I probably would have locked it in by now. I'm pretty interested, but
so it'll be there eventually. But if you're listening or watching, let us know, like, what value do you look for when you're finding, when you're looking for a new game, you know? And let us know, like, is Switch Online too much? Is it not enough? I don't know why you'd have that opinion. And you know, if it is too much, like, what do you need? Why
too
why
much?
is
What's
it
wrong
not?
with you? What do you overwhelmed?
Yeah, there's too much going on. It's too good of a value. You know, yeah, let us know what you feel about the price points for Switch Online and Nintendo's first party games. We would love to hear it. You've been listening to Podcasting with Power. I'm Zachary Davis. That's Jordan Carlson. We'll see you next time. Bye.